in a world.
What's up, player?
How are you, my friend?
Cannot complain. And you, good sir?
It has been the longest week in a hot minute. I don't remember a week that long to my ability, and I'm glad for a weekend.
I bet you are. I am as well. I am as well, sir.
Oof. Man, what are we going to be talking about today, bro?
I love it when you ask that question. You know what? I want to talk about the culture of cursing in corporate America.
There's cancel culture and cursing culture.
Cursing culture, man.
Let's do it.
It's funny to me, and I think we can go back and try and analyze the genesis of this, but there are people who don't ever curse in the workplace. And there are people, all they do is curse in the workplace.
Yep.
And for me, I would say it started off in sports, kids sports, high school sports. Me, if you play any sports, generally there's a ton of profanity in it. And as a young man, for me, growing up in a house, like, you know, my mother's side of the family didn't curse, but my dad's side of the family, they cursed.
You're right.
So cursing felt cool as a kid.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? It felt really cool. And it was a scenario where I liked it. So when you were away from the parents on the schoolyard, you know, you curse a little bit. And then when I started playing sports, when the coaches would curse, I would get jacked up about it.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh yeah. You know, God damn it, Sanford. I would be like, oh, that's okay. That's what I needed to hear.
Right.
And I think definitely a lot of people, you know, just about all people in corporate America are connected to sports in some type of way, whether it's you played it, your kids are playing it, you know, you're coaching it. And so I think it's kind of transferred over into the way people lead and use it as a sense of urgency, use it as a sense of commonality. Right?
Yep.
You know, I've heard it all, but I think, you know, I almost feel like we're going through stages. Like there was a time when it was a no-no, and then it got prevalent, and then, you know, COVID hit. Yeah. And then now I think there's a culture of
it's back. It's resurgent.
It's you know, it's like you know, the third version.
Yeah, I think COVID pissed a lot of people off. People went to COVID and they were like on their own. They were screaming at their TVs. They were like, what is that? You know, I got to wear these masks, or like, hey, bro, why aren't you wearing a mask? People are being assholes. And oops, there was I just dropped a little.
Did it.
I just dropped a little swear.
You just did it. And damn it, I told you we weren't going to curse.
And then it was like, oh, you got to come back to the office. And they're like, fuck this shit. I don't want to come back to the office. And that's still there. They're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Fine. But I'm here, but I'm going to be a little salty.
Yeah. And to your point, I think peer-to-peer cursing has always existed.
Sure.
Peer-to-peer. This guy's an ass, right? Or, you know, our new favorite one, this person's an asshat, right? But now, I mean, I think across the board, you're seeing it a lot, like, and then different industries.
Sure.
Right? I spent time in the aerospace industry, and that is all they do.
Oh, yeah.
It's curse. Now,
well, you want to know why that is, right? You know why that is?
I was gonna say I thought I knew, but I'll yield to you, sir.
Well, so a lot of aerospace exists because of the military.
The military. Boom, I was right.
So a lot of these cats are coming from, and she cats, he cats, and she cats. They're coming from
and they cats
and they cats, they them those cats are coming from military, and having been in both the Navy and an aerospace contractor, there's a huge overlap, and people go, why is that? Well, a lot of it has to deal with they're the biggest spenders by a lot. Two, a lot of these people have clearances. So even if you're, we're going down a path, but it's a fun path.
It's
a
fine.
lot of these.
Let's just go with the flow, bro. Just let it flow.
I'm getting people to buckle up and get ready.
Uh-huh.
So, these contractors have secret clearances to work on these. And so, the saying, swear like a sailor, that's not on accident. That's because that's all we did. God damn it, Van Ingen, why did you fuck that shit up? I mean, we might have to put an explicit warning on this episode.
Yeah,
but, and so that's just that culture has carried over. And you're going to see that. There's a lot of culture, there's a lot of culture in swearing, right? And I mean, when I was younger, when I was a kid at home, where I grew up, there wasn't a lot of swearing. My dad would, politely swear, never angry. He never angrily swore at me, but my basketball coach, he sure did. But and then we had like a cross country coach.
Were you motivated or were you turned off by the cursing?
I was like, it lit a fire under me because I was like, ooh, I messed up. I got to make this right. This is, so it was, in the huddle, not in the huddle, but in, basketball in the huddle between plays during a timeout, Coach Altergott would be like, what the fuck are you guys doing out there? And I was like, and it really helped you.
It lights a fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I found that throughout the years, it's for those of us who are, as we say back in the D, cussers, right? Because you did say, cursing or cussing.
You cussing with me?
So for those of us that are cussers, it's almost this way of relating to people a little bit, or in the cusser's mind, you think that you are kind of rolling up your sleeves a little bit, right? And then you're letting people know, like, hey, I get it. I'm common folk. I'm not, I might wear a white collar, but I'm blue collar under here.
I think the white collars are getting way better at it lately.
Talk to me about that.
I have found, and this is, how do we bring this up? This is, I think it's a little bit Hippocratic, right? Because I think there's a level of hypocrisy because it's this do as I say, not as I do thing. It's like I'm an upper level, I'm a boss or a boss's boss or all of the boss's boss, and I'm allowed to scream and swear at my people. But down in the trenches, I don't want to be hearing any of that. And I'm like, why is that? Why? I hear you doing it. Why can't I do it?
Yeah, and for me, I've always kind of respected. I don't have a problem with people swearing in corporate America. I think where it crosses the line is when, like, I can swear and say, "Look, we gotta get off our asses, everybody."
Yes,
right. Versus me saying, "Alexei, you asshat."
There's a huge difference between swearing with and swearing
at.
Yes,
and I just think that that's where the line kind of gets blurred, is that some people do that. And then, just like any industry, we get stressed, right? The stress hits us. Somebody comes after us. We're not meeting quota. We've got a part recall, and the stress mixed with a cursing culture can lead to some bad outcomes where people are like, hey, I didn't have a problem with you until you did X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And I think for leaders out there, that's kind of where you want to be careful, because I think cursing, it's like you said, there's people that we know have decorated in the Navy. They're gonna curse.
Gonna curse.
They're gonna curse. There's people who've played college sports. They're probably gonna curse.
Exactly.
And I can tell you, I had some interviews with some people, and it was the first time that I met them, and they were cursing. I'm interviewing with them, and they were cursing, and I loved it.
Yeah, it makes them human.
It was like I was just like, and I don't know why, but why does it seem like if somebody is cursing that they get it?
So here's my thing. I run into this a lot because I'll talk to strangers or I'll be having meetings with people that I don't know. And there's this transitionary period that you go through from, hey, we're talking, we're in detail, we're in sensitive information, we're doing deep dive shit. And we haven't graduated to cursing yet. And I'm on my P's and Q's and I'm doing but inevitably one of us will let something slip, right? It's like God, that was just that man, that was some tough shit. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
And then people are like, no, go on.
And yeah, and usually from both sides, it's like a relief. It's like, oh, thank God you're human, I'm human, and then you've built rapport. So as long as you don't cross over into that swearing at and you're swearing with, life is a very good place.
And we're adults.
Yeah.
Right. So people look at it from the phase that you're an adult. Yeah. Right? I've got relatives. They won't swear at all.
Right.
But they'll watch every Rambo, right? Every Casino Royale, every Jason Bourne, every action movie where people are letting curse words fly.
Yep.
And so I think you said it, sort of the hypocrisy in it is that there are a lot of people who are like, I can't swear, right? For religious purposes. And some people, they just don't talk like that. And it's fine. But you can go watch said movie.
Right.
And there is killing, murdering, abuse, right? And you're like, oh, he should have won an Oscar for that, right?
Right.
Think about when Denzel won I think it was his first Best Actor role.
Yeah.
It was for Training Day. He was a psychotic,
dirty
cop.
Yep.
And the language that was used in that, and I mean, the language that was used in that, so you can look at it like that, or you can play the movie game, and and what do you find? You play the movie game, and you ask people, what's your favorite, funniest movie?
Gonna have some swear words,
bro. More than likely, Will Ferrell is in it, right? And they do nothing but curse, but it's funny.
And let's just take a sidebar 2 second.
Oh,
there is nobody in the world.
The cornfields.
We're in the cornfields. There is nobody in this world that can string together unassociated swear words like Will feckin' Ferrell.
He makes me feel like a 12-year-old boy.
I'm like, how did you glue?
Time.
Those words have no belonging together, and you did it.
I've never heard of that being placed with that.
Never. It's amazing.
And it takes people to their childhood. So I think that aids in it too, because you ask people, they'll be like, "Oh my God, that is the fun." Most people are going to tell you some type of Will Ferrell or some type of Adam Sandler.
Yep.
Which is just potty mouth locker room behavior.
Yep.
Right. And so I think that helps to blur it
completely.
But
it's funny though, because there's that other side of it. And so I'm first American born in my family. So I was
out of Nigeria.
Can't you tell? And so in Nigeria, no, in Sweden. So I grew up around a lot of Swedish. So my mom would be talking to her sisters, my aunties, and my mormor, which is just Swedish for mother's mother, grandmother. And
just a little side note. Explain.
Sure.
More. Tell us.
English is a stupid language in that a lot of countries in their language, there's a different label. We have grandmother and we have granddad. Grandmother, granddad, grandfather, whatever the one you want, it applies there. But in a lot of countries, your mom's mom, mormor, and your dad's mom, farmor, that's two different labels. So when you say, hey, I was hanging out with mormor, you don't have to go, oh, is that your mom's or your dad's?
You know that's the maternal.
Yeah, or farmor, or morfar, or farmor.
Morfar is your mom's dad, right?
Yeah, so I grew up with a mormor and a morfar because my mom is Swedish. My dad is my dad's American, and so I grew up with grandmother and granddad. So I still kind of had it, but a lot of people don't have that, and I think that's silly.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest stuff.
I love it. Anyway, so mormor was a Swedish swearing sailor, but it was in Swedish, so it was different. So for a long time, I didn't know they were swearing at me or swearing about me or swearing in general until I started to pick up the patterns. But my grandmother, right, Dad's mom, she was the sweetest, most purest angel that I've ever met in my life. She wouldn't even say God. She would be like, "Oh, Gad, oh, Gad," right? And just but she would, when she would get fired up, she'd be like, still no swearing, but just like so. But anyway, that's the thing. I think you can swear with people, don't swear at them. And that really is just going to come down to it. Like to this day, with my kids, and they're grown men now, but I tried, because my dad was the calmest human being that I've ever met in the world. He still is. And he never yelled at me, never swore at me. And I'm not as good as that, but I won't ever swear at somebody unless shit is really going sideways.
Right. But you can swear about something.
You can swear about them and you can swear with them.
Yeah. I think that's the big difference. And, I look at it like that. Like, there are people who you'll never hear a swear word from.
Ever.
But again, that's not to say that they're not uncomfortable. And that's what I mean. It's like, some people don't say anything like that, and they want to go see Schwarzenegger. Right. They want to go see it. They want to go see people blown up, and there's war movies. Even if you want to watch a war movie, there's got to be swearing. Or there are those weird people who can't feel comfortable. They can't feel comfortable enough to be themselves, so they'll swear in private and feel perfectly comfortable. And then they flip this switch and they're like, "Oh, I'm a good person. I'm going to be very polite and proper." And I don't like that. I want people to feel, because I'm real. This is what you get. You see me, I'm pissed off. I'm happy. That's just who I am. People who feel like they have to put on this mask. Right. I feel like they're either hiding or they're scared of something. And that doesn't mean they're a bad person. But you want to swear, just swear, bro. Yeah. And I think, the place where I've seen people be the most comfortable is if you're talking about your competition. Yes. Right. We can agree on something to talk shit about. Yeah. Let's go kick Notre Dame's ass. Right. Let's go kick Chevy's ass this year. Yep. The Mustang is going to be the bee's knees. We're going to be the top dog. Everybody else can suck it, Trebek, right? I think people like that. People get behind it. And, when I was in the early 2000s, when you had new leaders and all of these things, I'm like, this is absolutely charging people up. Right. So I saw this like I said, early 2000s, the one or two people that were on stage and they drop I've seen people drop F-bombs on stage, right?
On stage.
Roaring people up, and people got with it. Then I think we went through sort of a sensitive phase, and I'm just going to use that, right? Because there are a lot of things that made us sensitive, and there were a lot of things that happened that we needed to happen. Me Too needed to happen.
Sure,
right?
Absolutely.
We needed to have some diversity, equity, and inclusion discussions. So a lot, we got into this place where everybody's sphincter got a little tight for a while.
Yep.
Right. And, but yet and still, I feel like even during that time, we were able to slide it in through videos.
Yes. Right.
Because we started using technology, and, I love the video from Any Given Sunday. Right. And it's just like, he's like, listen, if we don't change today, then we're screwed, and I don't care what industry you're in. If you play that last clip where Al Pacino's cussing at his team, if you're not hyped up about that, then you're cold as ice on the inside.
That's right.
And so I think the transition went from, okay, I'm not going to say the curse word. Right.
But I'll let Al say it.
I'll let him say it. I'll put in Glenn Ross.
Yes, I will.
Coffee's for closers.
Put that fucking coffee
down. Right? People are like, yeah, I'm ready to rock. These people get it. So here's my question to you. Is it better to let someone else do the cursing for you, or you do the cursing? Because I feel like no matter what, if you play that, right? And sometimes people are still cautious. Like, do I play this? Do I? Mm-hmm. Do I play this clip of Al Pacino cursing?
Yeah. So life's full of relationships and icebreakers, whether it's your trash guy or your spouse or any version between. Those are all relationships. They're different levels, and you're always going to be breaking the ice, and you're always going to be transitioning through different periods. You've got the romance, you've got the hype, you've got we're not on speaking terms. Right? Those are all phases of that relationship. And when you're early on in that relationship, you might want to test the waters, and you might want to let something else test the waters. And that might be, hey, look at this clip. I'm not swearing, but Al's talking some evil shit. And then you can judge that. Like, you get a little giggle or you get a little hee. It's like, okay, maybe.
Or people are like, that's one of my favorite movies.
Right. And now you know that you can fuck with that guy.
Yeah. Because you're kind of testing out and seeing the response, right? And again, I don't know what drives it. What drives us to want to say damn or use those expletives.
Wake up in the moment. Crack of ass.
Yeah, I say that all the time. People are like, oh, well, I was like, I had a flight at the crack of ass, and people are like, it's hilarious. That's great. Whoa. Yep. So it's just interesting when we choose to do it. Now, there are just some natural born cursors as well. Sure.
Yep.
And it's a lot of them at the top. So to me, what that shows is that if you want to be a corporate cursor, then you better be meeting and exceeding whatever goals you have.
That's right. I mean, that's the thing, right? What's the message in all of this? Ease into it. Make sure it's applicable, because there will be some people that are a little butthurt. But on the flip side, don't, as long as somebody's not swearing at you.
That's the big deal. That's it.
Maybe relax your knickers a little bit.
Yeah. Loosen them up. Unbuckle the belt.
Yeah.
Like, breathe a little bit. Because I think what happens to me is I think about, all of not only the generational differences we have,
right,
but just the cultural differences.
Couldn't agree more.
There are people who are like, leaving work and going to Bible study.
Right.
Now that's not to say that just because you go to Bible study, you don't curse.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some people that are like that. So you're gonna have people. The most important thing is you're gonna have people on your team that are absolutely different.
Yeah.
Culturally different. That religion. All types of things. So you have to take that into consideration. Yeah. But the one more point, I'll give it to you. But the thing I want to express is that for people who are listening to this and they're like, yes, I wish people would stop cursing. It ain't going anywhere.
Nope. It's probably not going to get any less. It'll probably just get more.
It's just going to get more. Go ahead. You have a point.
This is a different example. So I have a bunch of friends that are physicians, so it's in our relationship. They start out as Dr. Smith, doctor, and then inevitably maybe they'll evolve to Dr. Joe Smith or Dr. Joe, and then later on down the path, it's like, hey, bro, just call me Joe. You're Lex. I'm Joe, and then it's like, hey, Joe. What's up? That doesn't mean that everybody else gets to call him Joe.
No.
He's still Dr. Smith to some people. So remember and respect those boundaries if they're in place.
Yeah. I like that example because there are people who you may work with, right? Mm-hmm. And your level of communication may only be, for some of you, it might be email. It might be Teams. Right?
Yeah.
Or WebEx or whatever corporate DM process you may have.
Yeah.
There's other people that you got a text message relationship. So you don't have a text message relationship with everybody.
No.
So it's just the same. And then to take that even further, then there are going to be people that you work with that you got a text message relationship, and you're also friends on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah.
So it's levels to it.
Yeah.
And so be aware of what level you're at. And, that relationship isn't for everybody.
No, it is not.
And so the point I just want to make is for us cursors out there, you just want to be aware of the room. Everybody's not going to digest that the right way. They're not. And so some people, you probably are going to curse with. And then some people on an individual basis, it's no need. Now, if you're talking to the team, yes. But if you're talking to someone that has a specific background, if they're on your team, you should know kind of what they're made up of. Right. Mm-hmm. And if they're doing Wednesday night Bible study, you should know that, or you should have an inkling of it. Then that might not be the person you want to curse with on your one-on-one.
Right. Exactly.
So, why do you think we had the resurgence? You talked about it, but it's,
I think people are angry. I think people are looking. Look, we've never, we're not trying to go down this path, but we've never had a more polarized or divided
oh my God
nation ever than right now.
It just seems like everybody has anxiety.
So much anxiety.
Some sort of anxiety, some sort of stress related reaction.
Right.
It just and you almost can't get away from it.
You cannot. So
I feel like part of the runoff of this stress, we got, we've said it a million times. We got PTSD from COVID, period.
Yeah.
PTSD from COVID. Then, so you made it through COVID, right? And now you figured out, half or more, 75% of America figured out that they could work from the crib.
Yep.
And then now you take that and it's like, and we're back. Take them sweatpants off. You might have gained a little weight. So now you got to buy new slacks. You got to buy new slacks. And now you're walking around all uncomfortable like it's the first day of school. And so you're back at work and you're pissed.
When you have something to complain about, guaranteed there's going to be a few F-bombs in there.
It's going to be some dams and some son of a,
and there's a lot to complain about right now, regardless of what scenario you're talking about.
And so I think that now flows uphill.
Right.
It flows uphill because now leaders are like, I still have quotas to hit. I got numbers. I got a certain amount of magazines to sell. Right. I got fuel pumps to get off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it could be ice cream. I gotta get this stuff off the shelf. And you people are telling me you don't want to work.
Right.
So now their stress level has gone up. So I just think we've all come to a place where we're more doers, right? People are like, let's just get it done. Damn it.
Right.
Let's get it done ASAP.
ASAP, mofo.
ASAP. So cursing, right? It's got its place. It has its benefits. It has its drawbacks. I would just say, don't curse at people.
Never curse at people.
Curse with them, or pull up a nice video and let the video do the cursing for you.
Let your fingers do the walking.
Hey, man. Because I just see it, man. It's people all the time. I meet new people all the time, and they're just like cursing a lot.
Right.
Maybe one or two meetings in.
Right.
But now immediately you're just like, hey, man, I don't understand this shit. Can you help me fix this shit? You're like, okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. Totally, bro. You ready for some this or that, my dude?
Hey, man, this or that. This
you could go with this. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna make it a little more refreshing this time. We went a little dark last time.
Oh, keep it dark.
You want me to keep it dark?
No. I said I was saying you like to keep it dark.
I love keeping it dark.
Because you have dark soul, a dark, sweetest soul.
That's right. I'm the evil gnome. All right. So, but we can still keep it dark or light depending on how you answer. What do you think? Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark, bro, all the way. It's good for your It's good for your heart. Pairs nicely with wine.
Mm-hmm.
And for my soul brothers out there, it's not going to give you that lactose intolerance.
You're not going to be farting later.
Yeah, man. You're not going to be having, as my homeboy would say, bubble guts.
There's much less. There's almost no chocolate in milk chocolate, to be honest.
My daughter loves milk chocolate, but some, and I can go really on the dark side, right? Mm-hmm. For some people,
80,
they're like
90%.
89. I love those. Cacao. Cacao. You're like, I'll take that. I'll dip. That's what they need is some like serious cacao mixed with some Reese's.
Yeah. Ooh, now we're talking.
Bro, a super dark, hardcore chocolate mixed with Reese, mixed with the peanut butter.
Those are Reese's for my other people in the house.
We say Reese's in Detroit.
Say it all you want.
It's Reese's, bro.
In the D, you say Reese's. Everywhere else, we say Reese's.
Recess is that's lunchtime in school. That's recess.
Recess. Oh, man.
Well, as always, brother, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, my guy.
Peace.
Peace.